Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the Costa del Sol and Bedfordshire here in the UK. Topics for today, we have an MIT report that we're briefly going to go over, some DeFi conversation, some discussion on hype, and their new announcement, and what was the other stuff?
Crypto.com.
That's it. Crypto.com and the Trump media announcement. To kick it off, any general conversation you want to discuss before we go into anything?
First thing is everybody will be worried now. Everybody will be scared. Is the bull market over? Has Ethereum peaked? What should we do?
I mean,
now?
it set another all-time high, didn't it?
Yeah.
It set another all-time, only briefly, but it was an all-time high. We've
had a rough few days though. Bitcoin is all the way down at $110,000.
Yeah, I mean, but we're at the part of the cycle where ETH obviously should outperform, and I think a lot of people maybe thought that Jay Powell had saved everyone last week. Was it the Friday he had his Jackson Hole?
I'd forgotten about it, so I was playing Xbox on a Friday afternoon, as you do when you're an unemployed man, such as myself. and suddenly, on my regular every 90 seconds or so when I check the Bitcoin price, suddenly it shot up, and I was like, "What's happened here?" I think I didn't check it actually properly investigate until later that night because I was really into my game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting that it had such a positive effect with just his words.
Yeah. Well, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, like, this is one of the most, in the last year or two, this is probably the most one-sided people have been that I watched. There was loads of people on the camp that this is going to be really bearish, he's going to be really hawkish, and there was loads of people in the camp that he was going to be really dovish. So for me, that takes in information of both sides, I'm like, well, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I don't really know. So I didn't take a side, but he come out incredibly dovish. But when I was listening to some other podcasts, apparently the majority of people thought he'd come out overly hawkish. So
they thought he had come out hawkish.
So they thought that he would come out hawkish.
Right, okay.
So obviously, if you've got everyone thinking, and this is typical market sentiment, but if you've got everyone thinking one thing's going to happen, normally the opposite happens. Correct. So i.e., if everybody and their dog is thinking that we're going to peak in Q4 this year, there's a good chance that we actually don't peak in Q4 this year. It could actually be Q1 or vice versa, but that's just another scenario. So he came out incredibly dovish. Markets liked it. Obviously had a rebound, but we have since slumped again. Other than that, I mean, if I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I think we're going to get a pullback in September. Last week or last time we looked at the MIT report, we saw that we have deviated from the liquidity chart. If you look at the liquidity chart, it does show that we should keep going up till somewhere in mid-September. So if we do maybe come back, mean revert back to following that chart, we could still climb to some serious numbers here. But I'd still like to see ETH put in just an actual meaningful high, because I mean the high I've got on my chart, or the high from last cycle, should I say, was a high of approximately 4,868, and the high we put in the other day was 4,955. And when I say meaningful, I was looking for something greater than 5,300.
Yeah.
Something that actually was a decent chunk, but we haven't had it. Not to say that is the top for the cycle. I still think it goes higher. I just think we needed everything to go another 15-20% maybe before we get this September pullback that I still think we're going to get. Again, I could be wrong, and we could follow liquidity and other metrics. But the MIT report today shows us some things that the business cycle is picking up. And again, as we've mentioned before, the typical business cycle plays out on average over around 9 months. So
with us deviating from this liquidity, like us following liquidity is a new-ish phenomenon. We've identified, I guess, that it's only started happening since ETFs have come on board. Yeah. With that in mind, what factors do you think play a part in us deviating from the liquidity?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. It could be flows, it could be seasonality. But we still had massive flows. Like literally, as of the 26th of August, ETH had 455 million in flows yesterday. Bitcoin only had 88 million. So ETH is still getting snapped up.
ETH is caught a bit, doesn't it?
What's that? 4 times, 5 times the amount that's actually going into Bitcoin.
And that's for a smaller asset, a
Yeah.
much smaller asset.
And you've got a lot of these treasuries still coming out, or DATs, whatever digital treasury assets. I think they're called, or digital asset
Is that
treasuries.
what that is? I've seen
Yeah,
that. People
digital
are
asset treasuries, I think it
right.
stands for.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the people are setting up these DATs everywhere, and on a smaller front as well. Like even close family and friends are talking about setting up some sort of personal treasury on their businesses to do with ETH and other cryptos. So it's not just the multi-million-dollar companies. You're having a lot of these smaller companies and doing it. I mean, you could do it for yourself effectively. So kind of like I don't pay a pension in the UK. I just I take a chunk out of my stuff and put it into crypto. That's my pension.
Yeah.
You can do that for yourself, and it's kind of like a treasury asset per se, but for yourself.
When we had Top G,
Yeah,
I forget his name now because
Gabriel.
I keep calling him Top G, Gabriel. Yeah, when we had Top G, Gabriel on the podcast, must have been close to 2 months ago now.
Yeah,
We first realised about these now to be named DATs.
yeah.
And we said we would become experts in them. And it seems like you followed through on your threats. So we now quite well
Yeah, I
understand
mean,
the area.
they're popping up everywhere. I mean, unfortunately, the one that Gabriel tipped us isn't doing very well. Line Group Holdings. It's down from, I think, where we mentioned it, approximately 40%.
Okay.
But then again, it's early doors and it's the risk you take getting into this small stuff. And you've got
Yeah.
to remember that Line Group Holdings, it's got a market cap of 1.3 million. So it's smaller than probably every asset we've mentioned ever on this show
Yeah.
by a long way.
Yeah. A $1.3 million market cap, it excites me massively
Yeah,
because
massive upside potential. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what's happened, why we've deviated from global liquidity. The only other time we did do that was back, was it Q4? If I share my screen, we should be able to see. Is where we deviated, but to the upside, if you remember correctly. Do you briefly
sorry,
remember
I've fallen down the Lion Group holding
that?
rabbit hole.
So if you look at the global liquidity chart, if we stick it on the 1 day, this is what I can't remember what this is with actually 72. So that's, I want to say this is like a 7. I actually don't know. I'm not going to say any figures because it could be completely wrong. I don't know what this lag is, but the last time we looked at this, we deviated from here. So this is where we deviated. We saw global liquidity having a very sharp spike lower, and Bitcoin was remaining strong. We were around that 90 to 110k level. We then didn't really capitulate. We followed trend, but just lagged. And now we seem to be doing that, but to the upside. So I think we're still going that way. Does it mean we go as fast? Probably not. I mean, literally just by eyeing this up effectively, I am looking at this here as this part, these double tops as this here. Okay. You've just had this peak to the low, which I believe is probably something like this. And then we should, if this is correct, mean revert up. And again, this is suggesting that maybe we peak out around the 11th. If we're lagging, it could push us out to the 20th. If we're forward looking, we could peak maybe in the next week or two. But ultimately, I do think we're still following trend. We've just lagged. I think there could be an argument to say that we actually mean revert and actually shoot up. So in the next couple of weeks or two, if this is correct, maybe we have some big news come out and we do end up flying, or Bitcoin price would end up flying to probably around a 150, something like that, and then we get it. I mean, you got to remember we've still got those big patterns playing out, inverse head and shoulders. So your shoulder was here, neckline was going across there, shoulder here. This target took you to 150k. We are effectively a now. I mean, if you get rid of all my squiggles, I've got loads of squiggles on here. Need to get rid of all of these. We are effectively just in one big bull flag. And yeah, you're correct in saying we've had a breakout, retest. This is where you'd buy the dip, effectively. And arguably, this is just one big bull flag where you're chopping between 123, 110. And then what do you go from next? Probably higher. But again, if I'm bearish September, I would like to see Bitcoin back at around the 120 to maybe even fresh highs before we had that September drop. Because if not, we really don't want to be losing this level. Like this 110 to 108 or 106, that is like the must hold. You get below that, that definitely opens up coming back down to 90, like below 100 again, which I think would shake a lot of people out. But
Would that signal to you the end of the bull market if we did get back down to 90? Or
no,
massive
because you'd
opportunity?
still technically on a bigger time frame have higher highs, higher lows. But if we were to come below, I don't know, on a weekly, you could argue that would be our first lower low for a very long time. But the longer trend, so if you're looking at, I mean, you can't see my screen, but there's a low of around 77. Like the key here is we really don't want to lose the 100. Like that 110, 108, I would have thought is a stronger line of support than that 100. I mean, I haven't got the, can't remember what the charts are called that you use to see where the stronger support zones are, but I haven't got that in front of me. But I would have said I think this 108, 110 means more than the 100. Although I do see a couple analysts that I watch and listen to talking about Bitcoin going below 100 in September.
Okay.
I think if we do that, it could just be one big wick.
Yeah, and the liquidity chart actually showed that as well, because there was one that shot down. Have a look.
I think it does, but I don't think it shows that sharp a drop to
Have a look.
100,
I'll
if
show
that
you
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, I'll show you it. It was like a really sharp V like that.
Let me share
Go
my
back.
screen.
Let's see if I'm just seeing things or going crazy. Can you see it there?
So you're saying this here?
No, further on.
You think this?
That one, yeah.
Yeah. So
That too
I
late?
think obviously if my September thing plays out, or if this could play out, so this is global liquidity showing that we spike into 11th of September and we pull back into 10th of October, then it looks like our Q4 continues. But because we've deviated, again, what we'd like to see in the next couple of days is us actually run up till like the 11th or maybe the 20th, and then we have the pullback into early October. So that's what I think we'd have. But then again, if we were just to chop sideways, like between this 123 and 108, and then we have that September drop back, what we don't really want is to come through this area.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got a big area of support at that 100k, like across here, but you really don't want to be taking out these lows at like 97. I think if we do come down here, they will just be wicks on like a bigger time frame. And I'm talking like on the month. So on a monthly time frame, I do think it would just be a case of wicks. I need to get rid of all these silly little drawings because you can't see anything on a monthly time frame. So like that. So that you can see that box there, like the 109 to 106, even on a monthly time frame, is hitting these wicks as well. Again, if we do close below or in the month of September when we get it, I do think it could just be a big wick down here. Then October, you come back up effectively, and Q4 you keep climbing higher.
Would you try to trade the September pullback? Would you try to sell into it? And buy?
I would, but with a small portion of your portfolio. So as we're in ETH season, the one I'd be looking at is ETH. And what I'd probably be looking for, and again, as I mentioned earlier, I would like to see ETH go a bit higher from where we are now. and we've mentioned this before, but the last 2 times ETH has peaked, it does this same thing. It rallies in July, August, pull back September, blows off. Rallies July, August, pulls back in September, blows off. So we'd like to see a rally in this final week and maybe into the first week or 2 of September, and then it can pull back.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to have the pullback into this 4.8 to 4K area. So if we can get up to like that 5.5, maybe even 6K, whatever it is, we then have the pullback in, because that's still a decent pullback. If we manage to get to like, call it 5.8 conservatively, and we pull back to the lows, so like around 4K, you're looking at a 30% pullback. Well, that's decent. That's the one you try and hold, or try and buy the dip on effectively, or trade whatever you are trying to do with it.
Fairs.
But let's get into the MIT report. As you know, Real Vision releases one of these, I believe every week. And this week it's 26 pages. We won't be covering all 26. We're only covering 6 pages.
I thought MIT was a university in America.
No, this has nothing to do with them. I think they just, because MIT stands for Macro Investing Tool.
Right, okay.
Not the MIT University thing.
Not the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
No, not the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Okay.
But this is their report for the month of August. It's come out on the 21st. GMI Composite US Sentiment Index versus the percent of central banks cutting rates. So another really important factor and a key reason we believe both the ISM and its sentiment composite will grind higher this year and into 2026 is the sheer scale of central bank easing via rate cuts. As I highlighted in the monthly report, if you strip out trade frictions and all other noise, so that is basically news sentiment as well, and that is tariffs, all that palaver, the global coordinated easing cycle would become the main focus. Right now, nearly 90% of central banks are cutting rates. This is an extraordinary, and on a forward-looking basis, it is a massive tailwind for the business cycle. By my playbook, the time to start talking late cycle is when the teal line, so this is this one here, this like blue, I don't know if you can see that well, rolls over and begins to drop. So that is when you'd be looking at the business cycle peaking. Then you should, as we've discussed before, like if you overlay the ISM with crypto cycles and the gold silver ratio, they all basically perfectly time Bitcoin peaks, or have done every cycle for the last 3 cycles. So when the ISM peaks, we should see a peak in crypto markets. Rolls over and begins to drop as central banks turn to hiking rates to slow growth. Even then, there's usually a 9-month lag before higher rates hit the real economy, sentiment cracks and the cycle turns. Right now, we're just nowhere near that. In fact, the opposite is true. So the opposite is true. He said we've got a lot of work to do to catch up with this teal line effectively. So this is with a 9-month lead. So from now, it's saying from 9 months from here, this GMI Composite US Sentiment Index should continue to scream higher until we get, or we see on this forward-looking data, the teal line rolls over. Then we want to be thinking, okay, hang on a minute, have we come towards business cycle end? And I mean, 9 months from now, where's that put us? That puts us at around Q2, is that early Q2 26?
Yeah.
That puts us. So, and it's not impossible, I want to said, at all. So let's see if that happens. The second page I wanted to highlight was the ISM versus the Empire Manufacturing Survey. So some of the early August data backs this up. Obviously, there'll be previous context to that. But the Empire Manufacturing Survey, which is the first of the Fed regional PMIs each month, was released last week and came in strong. Expectations were for 0, but the survey printed 11.9, up from 5.5 in July. A solid beat that points the ISM in the right direction, though confirmation from other regional PMIs will be key. Again, Empire Manufacturing Survey overlaid with the ISM is indicating the ISM should be starting to pick up soon.
We've said before,
yeah,
for those who haven't seen, the ISM picking up is one of the key.
It is the business cycle effectively, and
Yeah.
that is, so the ISM in simple terms is Businesses perform better, they increase their wages, they allow their employees to have more overtime. What do people then go and do with all their overtime? They'll go out and spend more. That is the economy and the business is picking up. Then we get to a point where there's so much of that that we then have that little rollover and crash, and then we just start it all over again, effectively.
What does it mean for alt season?
And well, so if you've got more money from your job, you don't know what to do with it apart from go on more holidays and anything else. What's another big thing that people like doing? Gambling. So they will go to the casinos, they will use Sky Bet and whatever they want to use in the UK to bet on football and horses, or they can come into the crypto market and bet on meme coins. And people will do that, which is why you get this alt season. But also alt season is probably also done by a lot of the crypto whales that study this cycle theory and macro data, where they just rotate with the higher beta assets, so i.e. Bitcoin. At the moment, they've been rotating into ETH,
Yeah.
and then soon they'll be coming out of ETH into other stuff like Solana, Doge, and other things. So,
Sui.
yep, Sui, all sorts of new shiny things, hype, all these other things.
Yeah.
But this is ISM new orders versus the S&P 500 net 12-month EPS upgrades. So S&P 500 earnings revisions keep ripping higher, and that usually means ISM new orders are about to pick up. So when we have the S&P 500 earnings, I think we've got, is it NVIDIA today? I want to say, actually.
I'm not looking forward to NVIDIA. I think they're going to be in trouble soon.
I don't know. I believe they've got earnings today, but it's a good thing that we are seeing revisions keep ripping higher.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be a news thing to watch out for today. See when I don't know what time that comes out, UK time.
27. It just depends if it's at opening or close, I guess.
Yeah, I assume it's going to be after market.
Then it'll be late hour time.
Yeah, I think it'd be evening, won't it?
Time, yeah.
But this is what this is the kind of data we want to see to show that the ISM or the business cycle is starting to pick up. This is the sort of data that we want to keep seeing to prove that. Empire Manufacturing Survey, delivery times. So coming back to the Empire data for August, another thing we saw was a further pickup in supplier delivery times, which indicates the inflationary pressures are starting to build. When delivery times rise, it usually means demand is firming relative to supply, creating bottlenecks. This tends to push cost higher, which eventually feeds through into prices. And I've highlighted here, this is one of those classic early signs in the business cycle that the system is heating up. So this, again, is showing us to kind of what I've just mentioned. There's so many people earning extra money and whatever. You're starting to create these demands in things, which is why delivery times are picking up. And all these other things. And this is a good way of actually keeping an eye of this. So maybe it's one thing to add to your data sets if you could get the data for it. The good old Bank of England. Let's see what they have to say on this. I haven't pre-read this, by the way. I just saw it and thought, Bank of England, let's mention it. So I don't know what they're going to mention. Bank of England BOE policy rate versus the UK CPI year over year. So for the CPI, if no one knows, that's a consumer price index. Of course, the next logical question is about the Fed and how they might respond. I don't think this will be a roadblock for them, or let me rephrase that. The Fed has a window to cut. So what you're saying there is the Fed has a very small window to actually start cutting rates. I think if you look at what's that betting thing, Poly Market, there's like a 92% chance of a rate cut in September now.
No, it's dropped.
It dropped now?
Yeah, it's down to 78.
Okay, 78% since I think it rose to 92 on literally the day of the Jackson Hole thing. But then they go on to say, I still believe the MIT inflation domino sequence we often discuss in these reports: commodity inflation, early cycle; goods inflation, mid-cycle; services inflation, late cycle. And services inflation is what we just looked at effectively here, which is this Empire Manufacturing Survey. So it shows that we're potentially entering that late cycle bracket. It allows enough time to get rates lower, especially given the ongoing weakness, and we're seeing in both employment data and unemployment surveys outside of leading elements like hours and temp help, which is the other half of their mandate. Raoul and I have said that repeatedly across multiple cycles, the Fed and other major central banks are almost always late to hike and late to cut, and they usually continue cutting well into the initial rebound of inflation. The chart below illustrates the point perfectly. Oh, it would be the UK that does that as well. That illustrates this perfectly. This happens nearly every cycle. The Fed typically ignores the first rebound in inflation, driven by a pickup in the business cycle and rising commodity prices. They only really start to worry once inflation breadth begins to rise. This is not the case now, but it is something we will consider to track closely as the cycle progresses. And as you can see here, Bank of England's policy rate in white, we've cut, 100 basis points since September 2024. And the UK CPI, and that's inflation effectively, or a measure of inflation, has been rising since, or has risen 1.9% since September 2024. So good old UK giving us this demonstration here.
I think that it's difficult because they can't really gamble, can they?
This might be me being too closed-minded, right? But if you've got research services, right, and there's lots of them, it's not just Real Vision. You're looking at like 42 Macro, Darius Dale, and all these other ones that are out there, and they nail this. How are the idiots in charge at these Bank of England and the Fed and whatever so behind and lagging every time? But these guys nail it. That's something that baffles me.
I think it's risk. I think they can't afford.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they can't afford to make predictions. I think they need to wait for confirmation all the time because they are.
Yeah, but sometimes waiting for confirmation just kills you more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, that might be me being too closed-minded and being a bit thick, but I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. How can these smaller guys, like, they nail this, and
they're just speculating, aren't they? They're just saying something. So to just say is one thing. To actually move the monetary policy of an entire nation, 60 million people, something else.
I mean, it carries a lot more weight. But then again, all they've done is make the rich richer and the poor poorer since they've basically been in power. So they haven't done a fucking good job of it anyway, have they? Let's be honest.
That's the game, isn't it? that's always been the game. Money.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention their basically don't fuck it up theme, and that is no leverage, no FOMO, top 3 to 5 assets as your main bags, self custody with good wallet hygiene, and the wallet hygiene we briefly discussed with that. What was the thing we mentioned a couple episodes back? I forgot the name of it now.
Revoke.cash.
That's it, revoke.cash. Only trade a small degen bag, 10% of your overall portfolio. HODL over a long period of time horizon if your asset fits that bracket of HODL. Zoom out and remove the noise. Don't listen to mandates. Don't listen to Russia, Ukraine. Don't listen to all these other things that go on around the world, and expect 35% pullbacks frequently. And then finally, buy the fucking dip if you can.
Do you know what's interesting? Those things there are things that we consistently say.
Yeah. It's because people get greedy. The main thing is leverage, and then like now into the cycle, you could give me 5 tokens. I'd probably say to you, it's too late for me to get in now.
Yeah. Leverage and FOMO.
Yeah, worst ones.
Leverage and FOMO are the 2 worst ones.
So other brief topics, the CRO and Trump media announcement. What was that about?
So, CRO had a pretty nice pumpity pump.
Yeah, and for no one that knows, that is Crypto.com's official token.
Let me share my screen. Hold on, before I do that, let me make sure that, sugar, pardon my French.
It's okay, you can swear here. It keeps us out of the algorithms.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Right, so as you can see, we've had this miraculous pumpity pump over the last, 48 hours? 24 hours?
Yeah, 48 hours, something like that.
Where it's just jumped up. Now, the reason for this, sometimes you scroll down to here and it will show, it will show you what the latest news is. This is like a little bit of a small hack you can use. If your thing pumps and you see it on CoinGecko and it's done this, you see this nice.
Same for CoinMarketCap as well, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. I don't use CoinMarketCap anymore.
Yeah, I've used CoinGecko since you told me about it a while ago.
Yeah, because I think CoinMarketCap's got a little bit of a slant to it. I think it's owned by some
They're owned by Circle, aren't they?
Yeah, so then
Or Coinbase, one of the two, I think.
someone like that. But there was a time when they got bought by somebody. I don't know who they're owned by now, actually, but it wasn't Circle. It was somebody smaller. And then all their articles started to have a bit of a slant. So I was like, do you know what? I'm not gonna mess with those guys anymore. Anyway, so you scroll down here and you can see the latest news, and it's quite obvious what's happened. Trump media to list CRO crypto fund on Nasdaq. So it means basically that crypto.com are in bed with the Trump gang, that the Trumpinazis, the Trump mafia, and yeah, that is enough to pump a coin. It means they'll get a lot more exposure. Having the CRO crypto fund on the Nasdaq is a big deal. It's, I guess, similar to making it a what do they call it, a DAT.
I think it's similar.
Yeah.
I've got the crypto.com statement here. It just says, have partnered, or crypto.com and Trump Media have partnered to make CROs a utility token on the Truth Social platform. In line with the partnership, Trump Media will purchase approximately $105 million in CRO for its balance sheet. So are they actually going to be using that CRO for
Yeah,
that? Or...
it's a utility token, yeah.
But then
But
again, is that just the people that use Truth Social to use it as a utility token, not actually them themselves?
I guess if they say utility token, maybe that means that people on Truth Social can tip each other with CRO.
Yeah.
It will have some utility on the Truth Social platform. Truth Social being a rival to X.com,
Yeah.
a right wing for right wing people. So yeah, I guess a small but powerful political arm of the most powerful nation on the planet will now be using this token. So
Yeah.
it is a big deal, I think, and necessary to pump the price. Does this mean you go out and buy it? I think buying now might be FOMO. I probably wouldn't. What I would probably do actually is go to my pal, the Financial Navigator, and say to him,
Can
"Look
we
at
have
the
a look at the chart?
yeah, come and have a look at the chart and tell me when to actually action my FOMO.
So
I
if
better
you
still,
zoom, can you go to, do you want me to
you,
go on mine?
yeah, you do your own charts because you can do squiggly lines and all of that.
Okie dokie. So if we go to here,
So this is how I measure my own. This is how I temper my own FOMO. So go to somebody like the Financial Navigator or join our Telegram, and you can ask him yourself, and just say, I'm looking to get into this. I don't want to join with FOMO. I don't want to buy a massive green candle. So at what pullback do
which
I get in?
one, where do I buy?
Yeah.
So I haven't obviously looked at this for a very long time. But if I did hold CRO, it's above a take profit of mine. Interested. But so CRO is kind of, would you say, early stage to what BNB have done with, or BNB is with Binance? Could you
Oh,
argue that?
yes, I would. That's good.
But
That's a
they're a
good
lot
thing.
smaller, like
But yeah,
a lot smaller.
but they are indeed their own chain.
They are.
They are a Cosmos chain, so they do have IBC
Yeah.
built in, and they already have a lot of actual services released. They've got massive exposure, great sponsorship deals. Like I see them at the F1,
Well,
and
they've got the bloody stadium. They've got
they've
a
got a
CRO
stadium.
stadium, haven't they,
Yep.
in the
So
US?
they're not they're not a joke outfit at all.
No, they are
Um,
serious. I think a
they
lot of
are.
people actually underestimate crypto.com.
Yeah, I would
You don't
agree.
hear a lot of talk about them. You normally hear the Krakens, the Coinbases, the Binances, and other ones like that. You never really hear crypto.com. And they were the ones that I actually first used ever in the
Arguably,
UK.
arguably, crypto.com are just as big and strong as your Krakens and your almost your Coinbases.
I think they're probably as, I don't know if they're as strong as Kraken, but maybe not far off, but they're definitely as strong as like Gemini and other
Yeah,
ones like that. Maybe,
yeah,
and KuCoin, all
yeah,
those sorts of things.
yeah.
Bybit, stuff like that as well. But I mean, yeah, from a buying point of view, on the monthly time frame, you're at a key area of, or you've just broken through a key area of resistance, so like that 20 cents area. What you'd be looking for now is some sort of pullback into this 20 cents area, give or take. Could be 19 cents. I mean, don't be too picky with it. Realistically, we have just broken out. I mean, the last time we got above this range, we was briefly in 2024, but prior to that, we weren't at this area since May 2022. So from here, and this is just me speculating, I would suggest that CRO probably goes to all-time highs in the back end of this bull market, at least prior highs. So you're talking at least 96 cents, and from current price, you're looking at approximately a 333% gain. Now, I just mentioned you're looking for a pullback. That's if you want optimal entries. Even if you bought at that 19 cents area, you're still getting a 412% gain, so you're getting an extra 70%. Is it really worth the stress of you trying to look at the chart, pick out that if you're a busy person or have a busy life? Probably not. So you could be inclined to pick an amount of money you want to allocate to this. Just enter it now. Don't look at it. Come back in December, see where it's at, and see if you're willing to sell some there. But yes, in the short term, if you're looking to get the optimal entry, you're looking for some sort of pullback to around that 19 to 20 cents.
Would you set a limit order?
I'd probably set some sort of alert to alert me if it come back. I mean, I personally would probably, let's add $1,000. I'd probably put in like 400 now, like 40% of it, save the 60% if we got a drawback, or the other way around. Because if we didn't get that drawback for whatever reason, and you don't get your money in, you're just robbing your future self effectively of potential gains. So I'd actually probably be inclined to do it the other way around, put the 60% in, save the 40%, and then go from there.
Looking at the way this crypto.com behaves, it does seem like it shoots up, bleeds.
It has these mad spikes.
Bleeds. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why. I mean, you're probably going to come into some resistance around this upper boundary. So you're looking at that 28 cents area. Also, another fib level or take profit, which is always magic. So again, on your way up, you could look to trim at these green areas that I've set out here, and then look to get back in on any drops. But yeah, in the short term, I look to, if you're looking to allocate some now, save 40% of that capital for a drop. We get that drop, you go in. Don't get the drop, is what it is. That's just how we play it.
Okay. And one last bit on crypto.com is I've just quickly had a look, and it seems that crypto.com is the 9th best exchange according to the CoinGecko.
Do we know what that's ranked out of?
It's this trust score that they do.
Okay.
An algorithm developed by CoinGecko to evaluate the legitimacy of exchanges' trading volume. A range of metrics such as liquidity, scale of operations, cybersecurity score, and more. For full details, read our full methodology.
Okay.
I'll have a look.
What's below them? Is there
below them is HTX, KuCoin,
Coin, Gemini?
Bullish. What's this Bullish? This is a new one.
Yeah, they listed on the Nasdaq.
We saw them, didn't we? In the
Mate, I've never heard of them.
No, we saw them in the thing that we looked at last week when we looked at the report from.
What as a investor in something?
Yes.
Yeah, see, they listed on the Nasdaq, and they didn't even. I want to say, let me see if I can find the chart. They did a ridiculous pump. Like their IPO made coin circles look crap.
I've not heard of them, but do you know what? The last time something like this happened and something came out of nowhere and was massive.
Look at this. Look at this. Holy. So it pumped on the day.
Go on, let us see.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen. I was watching a podcast. I want to say it was a forward guidance episode. Right, so this is the chart. So on the day of launch, it rose 47%. So for what I just mentioned, saying it better than circles was complete trash. I apologise. But since then, it has literally dropped 43. and we've said this before, and we said this when Circle comes out. What you want them to do, or what you want to do, is put Circle, Bullish, and all these other things that my IPO that you're interested in on a watch list. And what you're waiting for is them to do what Coinbase did, what Robinhood did, effectively. So at the end of this cycle, you're waiting for them to fall off the edge of a cliff like this. Literally, you want them to do an 80% drawdown. And if they continue to build and continue to push, even through those bear markets, this is where you accumulate. This is where you buy. Okay, Robinhood was exactly the same. I'm sure probably, I mean, Amazon, what did that have? Was the famous things? It's 80% corrections before it got to where it is today.
Yeah.
So all these big companies, I mean, AMD's probably had same sort of sell-offs as well. I mean, look at that there. What's this sell-off down here? Back in 1973, you're looking at a 93% sell-off.
Yeah, we missed that one, mate.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
2005, it had a 96% sell-off. This pull down here.
I think you would have missed that one as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what AMD was. I wouldn't even know what a chart was at that age.
No.
But yeah, effectively, it takes multiple of these big drawdowns to get stuff to move.
So end of the cycle, an easy play is just turn around and short all of these crypto-related things.
You could say that, or what I'd be inclined to say, and because shorting can be inherently risky, is just wait.
Okay.
Buy spot, do nothing. Because your ridiculous gains come from buying spot anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yes, if you know how to use leverage, by all means, but your average person doesn't have a clue how to use leverage, and they will just blow themselves up, and then they'll be like, well, this is shit, I'm never doing that again, and then they rob themselves of future potential.
Can't believe I listened to those idiots on Crypto Waffle.
Exactly. But the only other thing we have to mention before we jump into predictions is Hyperliquid's announcement. So Hyperliquid, I've lost the announcement now. Let me get it back. And you might be wondering, that's why probably Hype, or that is why Hype is at all-time highs as we speak. It is currently at, it's not anymore. It was this morning when I woke up. But it's currently sat at $48.60. We went to a high of $51.20. The announcement that they gave was, and I'll share my screen quickly. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. So, in accordance with its on-chain mandate to securely preserve value and support the Hyperliquid community, the Assistance Fund will begin holding a diverse set of narrative assets on Hyperliquid. Selection criteria including a fair initial distribution, decentralized ownership, Hyperliquid first narrative deployment, and demonstrated positive impact for Hyperliquid community. Among qualifying assets, the Hype Foundation will initially decide on inclusion and relative representation. Over time, governance will take over this responsibility. The pilot asset added to the assistance fund is PER. So this is the announcement on PER. It's the wrong one. But basically, from what I've read and what I understand, tell me if I'm wrong, CryptoSI, Hype have or were issuing 97% of fee generation to buybacks of the Hype token. And I believe they've been buying around 1% of the Hype, the Hype supply, 1% every month, like the last 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is. They are now upping that from 97 to 98% and then using 1% of fees to buy back Hype tokens. And in this case, they've added PER, which is their meme coin or their native meme coin, to their fund, which is why Hype here pushed high, because they've announced from 77% to 98% buybacks, and PER had a little pump here yesterday as well, which has, from a technical point of view, and we'll go over these now. Meow? That sounded like a cat.
Yes, it did.
Hyperliquid is in this big wedge, and if I probably go out to the day, you'll see it better. I'm talking like a flat top, rising bottom wedge here. So I'm talking about this yellow line here, this top. This is the pattern we're looking. Now, a breakout to the upside, and we haven't had a confirmed breakout yet, even though price did go above this area, would take us to around $80, give or take. And that's the target.
The breakout to the upside, does that invalidate that double top that we can see there?
Yes. So this double top, or I mean, you could argue triple top, which is where we are now. This could be a triple top. What we'd want to see in the coming days, and
What does a triple top mean? If a double top means we're going down, what does a triple top
same
mean?
thing. It just means there's been 3 attempts. But then, obviously, the way I look at support and resistance, or resistance and support, sorry, is to think of them as doors. The more you try and smash into a door, every attempt you have a go at hitting into that door's getting weaker. So if we go for like the 4th time or the 5th time, you're likely to come straight through that door. So same with price action. So if 3 attempts we fail, like a good demonstration of this actually is probably gold. So gold has had like this quadruple top, you could argue. So every time, and let's go to the daily, every time gold has come up to this 3,400 area, we've just been hammered back down again, back down again.
Yeah.
But every time we do this, this area is getting weaker. Like if there's a big sell wall there, which there usually is within cryptos specifically, we will go up and we'll start nibbling at that sell wall. But I did read a post on X about there being a sell wall on per at like 17 cents. We finally got through that, and that's why it spurted up to like 21 or whatever, but has come back down since. So yeah, again, on that resistance and support demonstration, gold, when we get up here, likely soon in the next, I would have said next 2 or 3 attempts at this 3-4 level, we probably break through. And you could argue that this has been a very long consolidation period for gold. And obviously the longer something consolidates, the more powerful the breakout normally is. Yeah. And we've been consolidating near enough since April 25. So a nice long consolidation. Hype, you could argue, has kind of done the same. We've consolidated between 32 and 49 since around May. We are having an attempt at breaking this, and we haven't so far. So today's daily candle doesn't look very good. It looks like a reversal. So if I remove that out of the way, if we finish today like that, I definitely look to maybe short that or something like that. I mean, I'm on holiday. Am I going to be bothered about it? Probably not. But if you're that interested in shorting, it's a good candidate. The 4 hour, what you'd be looking for is for price action to actually come up and hold this as support. You don't want to see what it's doing now coming below, and you would like to see some follow through. And then we can come in, test it again, go higher. There will be some resistance at this upper boundary, as you can see on the daily. We do have some fib areas, and we also have this long-standing channel, which comes back to Jan. Here, you see this channel come straight through, and we've been respecting it, pretty much since Jan. And we will find resistance in this upper boundary around the 56 to 58. And one thing you can do, so what we discussed earlier on in the show, is the thought process of maybe not topping in early December, and maybe that top or the short-term top comes back end of September into October. Would that make sense? Okay, from here, hype is at 49-ish, give or take. We could get to 56 by that 11th of September, which we discussed earlier, which puts us around here on the screen where my cursor is. Then we have the sell-off. That sell-off, if we got to here and went back to the lower end of this channel, 30%. That's a decent sell-off.
Expect 35% sell-offs frequently.
Exactly. We mentioned that as well earlier. So in the short term, you'd want to be watching the 4 hour, see if hype can get above. The other thing you could potentially look at here, if you go to the 4 hour, there may be an argument in here for some sort of inverse head and shoulders, but you'd have a really, really small left shoulder here on hype, and a massive one here on the right. That head and shoulder target does put you at around, give or take, $70. So again, just watch that on the 4 hour at the minute. I'd personally wait to just see where the week closes. You'd want to see the weekly above 49. Per, same thing. You got a massive falling wedge at play. We've just had a breakout. We have the retest, not financial advice. This is where you buy. You buy the retest. You've had this massive pattern where we topped effectively in May 2025. This is where you buy. If you haven't been in a position since now, this is where you start to buy. Okay, not financial advice, but Per has a target of this falling wedge to 44 cents from current price. You're probably looking at approximately 162%. For full transparency, I hold spot Per and a leverage position.
So with hype, two things spring to mind with me. This announcement, what it signals is that hype are taking their ecosystem very seriously.
Yeah.
So much like what Ethereum done, Solana done, and Binance BNB done, these chains, they made a great effort to support the projects that were the champions on their chain. Cosmos didn't do that. Cosmos, they were too good to support price action. So they done airdrops and that was about it. Now, I think it's quite interesting Hyper doing this and that the market is responding the way it is, because I think people now have woken up to the fact.
Well, they've also got massive liquidity on there. They've got massive volumes.
Yeah.
Like they're dwarfing some of these exchanges as well, like the big ones.
Well, no KYC.
Exactly.
And you can trade with leverage freely. And they've
got. I keep seeing those ridiculous screenshots of like Bitcoin whales depositing like $1 billion, and then sticking like 600 mil shorts on ETH, and then getting wiped out. And then 2 minutes later, they deposit another $1 billion.
Well, there's no other tool to do it. Well, actually, there is one, which should be my gem of the week.
What's that?
It's a project called Ruggiera.
Never heard of it.
Right. Okay.
What's the have they got a ticker? Have they got a token?
It is RUJI, Ruji. Now, this is story time. I'll try to keep it brief.
ROJI.
RUJI, Ruji.
Oh, RUJI.
Yeah, RUJI. Right. So here's the story behind Ruggiera. Back in the day, there was two separate projects. One was called Thorchain, and the token for that was Rune. It still exists. Sorry, I shouldn't say was called. All these Thor chads are going to come and give me a hard time now. One was called Thorchain. Massive deal. Came out of the Binance Lab stable. It was like one of the first decentralized cross-chain dexes. So on Thorchain, you could swap Bitcoin for Ethereum without trusting anyone. Thorchain got hacked straight out the gate. A friend of mine found loads of bugs that they had, like critical ones that they would have got hacked again. He showed them the bugs as according to their bug bounty. They didn't pay him because they were charlatans and their developers weren't very good. They weren't that great, right? Now, they were backed by Binance, so they raised a whole load of money and they built this product, and the product worked when it wasn't getting hacked. Anyway, fast forward, they decided to put out this thing called loans. The loans are underwritten by the actual Thor token, the Rune token. Some people like me said this is just like, what was the other one that went to pieces?
Luna,
just like Luna. Don't do it, it's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. The four chads were like, shut up, don't you talk that way about our ruler, woo, this, that, and the other. It broke, obviously. It was always going to break. It broke. The price of Thor collapsed. All the people who had money in there, they had to repay them via some other complicated mechanisms. Anyway, during that time, there's another project called Kuji. I think it was called Kujira, and it was a Cosmos project, and I'd got an airdrop for it, which made me look at it. Now, these Kuji guys, they had some shit hot developers. Like their front ends were sexy as hell, and they were building projects in Cosmos Atom that were brilliant. And I was like, these guys are excellent, but no one gives a damn because you're building where no one's looking. No one's looking at Cosmos chains. Who
Yeah.
gives a damn about Ruji? No one cares, right? Kuji, no one cares. So what's happened is somewhere along the line, the Kuji devs and the 4chain higher ups, I guess, have met each other. And the Kuji devs are like, we can save you. And they weren't lying. Then Rujira was born, which is a mixture of Rune from 4chain and Kujira from Thing. What they've done is they've gone and they've built a rival, like a genuine rival to
Hyperliquid.
Hyperliquid. Let's see if I can.
Are they getting much volume?
No. Compared to Hyperliquid, no, not yet. But ThorChain, if we go to exchanges, decentralized exchanges, ThorChain should be, I thought they'd be higher up. Or maybe they don't show on here. No, for whatever reason, they don't show on here. Oh, here they are. Okay, so this is 4chain. So 4chain have got 75 million. I thought 4chain's exchange thing would be higher than that, to be honest. But 4chain get decent volume. Now, if 4chain's volume comes across to Ruji, which it more than likely will over time, and this gets some momentum, maybe possibly being a leverage play on hype, in that it fits the same narrative. Oh, decentralized exchange now do really well. Suddenly someone does a DAT around the decentralized exchange, or there's a playbook. Decentralized exchange must support the tokens in its ecosystem. I think Rujira gets a shot at growing. Currently, its market cap is relatively small at 105 million. Total fully diluted valuation is 141. You compare that to hype. Bearing in mind, both these things do the same, except one doesn't have the volume yet. Hype is at 48 billion, fully diluted. So we are looking at, what was that, 500x difference.
Yeah.
So massive potential for Ruji. I was shown it at around $1. Someone came and started.
Did you buy any?
No, I didn't. I do. This is what I do. I either buy it, it does jack, or I don't buy it,
And it does well.
It does. So I just didn't buy it. The main reason why I didn't buy it was because I didn't have assets that I could easily exchange to hold this. It's a bit of a cop out, to be honest with you, because I could have just used Ruji itself and trade on the token swap over Ruji, swapped my Bitcoin for Ruji and held it, which you can do. So you can use this to swap. I think ETH should be on here. Yeah. So you can swap your Bitcoin directly to Ethereum, and the markdown is not too bad. The fees are not too bad. It says how long. It shows how long it will take. Around 20 minutes. Might be a bit too long for some people.
To do what? To swap?
To swap, yeah, from Bitcoin to Ethereum. But remember, this is absolutely decentralized.
Yeah.
So it's entirely decentralized. There's not many tools where you can do this. Hackers, people like that, will use these tools. So I think there was a hack which took place where there was a lot of money stolen, and then they used 4chain to swap from ETH over to Bitcoin. Currently, you can't swap to any notable privacy coins, which is interesting, but you can swap your Bitcoin into Ethereum on Base or BNB or Dogecoin. You can do it directly, and
nice.
it doesn't.
One to keep in the toolkit.
Yes, it definitely is. But then on top of that, if we look at, they don't have a right. So this is interesting. So they don't actually have a section for ecosystem, right? So they need to add that. So we've just seen Hyperliquid say, right, we're going to support the tokens on our ecosystem. Here we have Ruggiera making the classic Cosmos mistake where they're not supporting the tokens on their ecosystem. What's the biggest meme coin on Rugi? I have no idea. There should be something here which shows well, that's interesting. It's a DAO. There should be something on here which shows the ecosystem. Oh, here we go. And this only shows protocols. So it should show assets. There should be something in that shows assets, which maybe shows the top dexes on the chain or the top meme coins on the chain. I don't know if they can do NFTs. I don't know what sorts of smart contracts they use. I don't think it's an EVM. But anyway, they definitely can have meme tokens, but they're not supporting them. So I think that's that might be something to look into. If they see what Hype have just done and decide to do the same thing, the top Rugi meme coin will get a bid.
I'm sure they'll get a bit of traction.
Yeah. I think it's only a matter of time before these guys get somewhere. Somewhere might mean to 400 or 500 million, 4 or 5x from here.
Okay.
But
nice.
There you go.
Right, predictions. Let's rattle through these.
Let's get going. Should we do last week's?
Yeah, they're all trash.
We are a pair of losers. No, ETH, we're quite close.
Bitcoin, we were way off.
Yep.
ETH were pretty much tagged yours, I'll give you that. Was off mine. Both wrong on FAR. Lido, you were correct.
Did I say a pullback?
No, you got the pump on Lido.
Okay, yeah, 130 to 150. Yeah, so it touched mine, but it's pulled back since then.
Yeah. Then Sol, we both got.
Yes, luckily that was my trade of the week.
What did I have as a trade? Lido?
No, you had fart.
Oh, bastards.
I know, you got tapped out.
Good. I wanted to be tapped out. Right, this week, what do we want? I think we do Hype. As soon as we mentioned it.
Let me organise my paperwork, sir. Right, okay, BTC and ETH.
Yeah, Bitcoin, ETH, Hype. What else would we like?
Do you want to do Hype or do you want to do Per?
Nah, do Hype.
What else do we like? What do we like? Ooh, done so. Everything's up today.
What about CRI?
Yep, good shout. Let's see what's got the biggest open interest at the moment.
And one more.
Pump.
Yeah?
Yeah, pump.
Because that's on the Hyperliquid as well.
Yeah.
Right. Bitcoin, where do you think we're going, sir?
Back up. Let's go back to, seeing as we just ranging all the time.
Can I go with 117.5?
Oh, I was going to go right the way back up to the thing.
What, up the top here?
Yeah. I was
120.
Yeah.
You can have 120. I'll have 117.5.
That's fair. We're currently at 110.
ETH?
Same. Back up to 5.
5?
Yeah, 5K.
5K?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll leave you where you are. No, I think that's all right. I want to increase mine to 5.3.
Oh, you think we get the breakout this week?
I think we've got to. That's what I'd like to happen. Hyperliquid, what do you reckon? It's early days.
55.
Ooh. $55.
Yeah, 55.
I'm going to join you. at 55.
Yeah.
CRO, where are
Pullback.
we? Let's go to the daily.
No, we've got to touch free, haven't we, and then come back.
I don't know. It's difficult. Actually, you know what? I think you're right. I'm gonna go pullback.
I think we touch first.
What? 27
Yeah, 30.
ish, give or take. Okay, I'm gonna go pullback.
Okay.
Is it 20% enough or 20
Yeah,
cents?
plenty.
20
20
cents?
cents. Oh, that's only 10% pullback. Yeah, go on then. Because
Yeah.
it's a complete direction change.
Okay, I'm gonna go 20 cents, and you want 27, yeah?
Yeah, I'll have 27.
27 pump. Look at this lovely little falling wedge.
Lovely jubbly. We've just come out, haven't we?
Not yet.
Yeah.
On the
Oh.
verge.
Is that wedging enough?
See, what's the drawdown it's had now? Yeah, it's not enough for me.
Brand new token. It's back in the lead as far as Mindshare is concerned. It's knocked Bonk out of the way. So all of the eyes or the Mindshare is back on pump. Solana's due some good news.
It is, but I can't help but feel we go lower.
Solana's due a rotate. I'm gonna say 3.5 cents.
Right. So I'm going to go quite bold with 0.00226. We're in really, really bad decimals here. And what are you going for?
0.035.
So is it, what?
0.0035.
Oh, right. Okay, I was going to say. Holy
10x.
hell.
Yeah.
So both opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah. I think we break out.
Right, okay. That's it for this week. So which one would you like to trade, sir?
Can I trade Ethereum?
Yeah. Is CRO on hype? Can you have a look?
Yeah, it should be. Let's have a look.
Please.
No, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not. Strange what's not here, isn't it?
So you're going to do ETH. First of all, what was our last week's? We need to see.
Let me move this.
Did yours get tapped out in profit, I believe?
Yeah.
Good.
TP.
Did it save us? Did we have finished the week with a little bit?
We ended up being pretty much even.
Good.
Even Stevens on $96. So yeah. So trade history. So the Sol long got closed out in profit as we hit $209.
Yeah, fart short. Fart
$8.
long closed.
Fart long got tapped out as we dropped all the way to 80 cents.
Horrible.
So you win some, you lose some. We spent 5 cents in fees.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Let's.
So I assume you're going ETH long, yeah?
I'm going ETH long. Should we do mine?
To what, 5k?
Yes, please.
So now looking at my chart, there's a low that we put in on the 25th at 4,311. I would say you put your stop loss around 4.2 because we don't really want to be going below that local low. But if you wanted to give yourself some wriggle room, now to be fair,
4.2 and 5k and 4.2.
it's tight, isn't it?
No, I don't think we go down past 4.2.
All right, okay.
I don't think we go down past 4.2.
Go for it, Jeff. I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to trade hype. Okay, I'm going to go on the long side. I would like stop losses at 45 and take profits at 54.8.
54.
No, your stop loss needs to be $45, not cents. Yeah, and then take profit is $54.80.
You're kind of tight to the downside now. You're right, actually.
I think it's all right because I'm looking at 45, and looking at the 4 hour. We should have some support kicking around the 47.6 and kind of where we are now. So that I think it's just giving me enough wiggle room.
Okay, we have our 2 positions. Mine is already in profit. I've already made 10 cents.
Let me. Actually, no. I need you to send me the picture because I ain't got the stop losses in front of me.
Trade.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I'll screenshot that one.
Are you going to screenshot it or should I?
Yeah, I'll screenshot. Thank you very much, sir.
Dokily.
Right. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And we shall see you on next week's episode of Crypto Waffle. We can't promise it will be the Monday again, but I'm sure we'll work it out.
Yes. Well, because you're still partying it up.
Yeah.
In Costa del Crypto.
Have you got any, just quickly before we leave, we got really bad at this, but have you got any comments on your live Instagram and have you got anything on X?
I closed my Instagram page like an idiot. So there are no comments on there, but let me check X. Shall we leave the site? Yes, leave the site, man. No.
Right, so I've got nothing on Instagram, but I have got some round of applause from Joanna. Thank you very much, Joanna. Would you say?
Sorry, that was my my live show started playing. So it was just
right.
I had to mute it.
Because I was looking at you thinking, hang on a minute, your mouth's not moving. Why is he speaking?
It wasn't my voice, it was your voice as well.
Anywho.
How's he talking without his mouth moving and why does he sound like me?
Right, well, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. Have a lovely time. We shall speak to you soon.
Also, don't forget, we need a producer and a show editor. So if anybody...
No, we've got one in the works. We've got one in the works.
Okay.
But if anyone's open to applying, let us know.
Yeah, we're hiring. We're just not paying.
Yeah, so. If you want to be part of the team,
yes,
let us know.
Come and join us.
We share great love, knowledge, wisdom.
Yeah, the occasional meet-up, discussions about castles,
yachts,
speedboats.
You name it, we've discussed it.
You name it, we've discussed it, yeah.
Right, until next time, adios.